Fire for your mind. Kosher clinician.
Through all of what she's been through, this got another husband. Half of y'all can't even find a husband, and she got a husband that's willing to sit up there on trial and listen about how she got ran through and how she got her mouth pissed in. You know what women are saying online? In mass. Mm-hmm. That's a good man, Savannah. I'm going to speak to the guys, and I'm going to speak to all of the men that's watching this that got wives, that got girlfriends. You're being ridiculous. I think that they're innocent. Let me tell you, big dog, she'll go.
I bet she won't.
I bet you she will. She's a femininity coach. And she say that she hold women accountable. He started to get uncomfortable because she started exposing herself as a chameleon. Now the simp is gonna start to come. I bet you she won't. Nigga, if she wouldn't, then she wouldn't be here in the first place. Nigga, send her over here for 48 hours. She gonna come back a different person.
Hit that like button and share this stream if you're not a beta male.
A man enter her vessel. She lets Chad enter her vessel. She lets Denzel enter her vessel. She lets Chorenzo enter her vessel. She lets Donovan enter her vessel. She lets Pedro enter her vessel. And then lastly, she lets you enter her vessel. You are the last fool to enter her vessel. So once again, what is she giving you? Nothing. And many times, Ingram, in these relationships.
It's interesting to me that these are the same women shouting from the rooftops when they're our age, that they feel invisible, that it's hard, that where are all the good men, that being single is so sad and depressing. So this is the wisdom, young ladies, if you're willing to listen. When you get older, you will be so grateful to not have to do the last third of life by yourself.
You know, Paco, winter is coming. I remember a time where most women had husbands, and Kevin Samuels talks about a time called winter. And you know, winter not only symbolizes the seasons that are about to come, but winter symbolizes a stage in life. When you look at some of your, yes ma'am, go ahead. Right, yes ma'am, go ahead.
I am in the storm. Okay? I got a part-time job. I'm a tax expert, so I only live during tax season. I'm 60 years old. I don't have retirement. My family is spread across the country, and I don't have a strong black man who I love black men in my life. I'm not mad. I know my time is past.
Wow.
But I am in the winter.
Wow.
I'm in the storm.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, dear. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like there was a time when you had a viable black man, but you forfeited that by sometime bad choices?
1,000% correct.
Oh my God.
Married. I was married.
Right.
I was fine as hell. And I thought that I was black girl magic.
Wow.
So that's why I know the death mentality. And I thought that I was.
Go ahead, keep talking. You said you thought you were black girl magic. Keep talking, Parker.
Oh, but life and reality woke me up.
So
most women learn these lessons very late after destroying their lives by themselves. They thought they were upgrading. They thought leaving their husbands for freedom and independence would give them peace, happiness, and self-discovery. Now they're out here with tears behind their makeup, regrets hiding behind motivational captions, and loneliness haunting their nights. Why? Because they listened to bitter, man-hating feminists online who've never built a home, who despise structure, and who thrive on chaos. Here are 10 painful realities women only realize after destroying themselves, after it's too late. 1. No one else will tolerate what their husband did. That man they dumped was patient, loving, and forgiving. But outside, no man is willing to deal with your entitled, combative behavior. 2. Feminism doesn't pay rent. Online. Feminists will hype you up, but when you're broke, lonely, and falling apart, they won't offer a dime or a shoulder. 3. Sexual market value drops with age. You're not 24 anymore. You're older. More baggage. Less patience. The options shrink. The demands increase. And most men now want younger, feminine, peaceful women. 4. Freedom is just loneliness in disguise. You thought you were escaping a boring marriage. Now you're eating dinner alone, faking happiness on Instagram, and battling depression in silence. 5. Your kids suffer the most. You broke a family to chase trends. Now the children grow up emotionally fractured. No father, no stability, no structure. 6. Being a single mother is not a badge of honor. You thought it made you strong. It made life 10x harder. Now no high-value man wants to sign up for a ready-made burden. 7. Hypergamy has a deadline. You wanted a richer man, a more exciting man. Now you realize the pool you thought was full is actually shallow. 8. Attention is not the same as respect. You may still get likes and DMs, but no one respects you anymore. You're entertainment, not investment. 9. Peace is priceless, and you threw it away. He wasn't perfect, but he gave you peace. Now your world is chaos, drama, and anxiety, and you caused it. 10. The internet doesn't care about your regret. You followed strangers online. Now you're suffering offline. And guess what? They've moved on. You're the one paying the price. This is the reality of modern women who traded submission for rebellion, family for fantasy, and wisdom for TikTok advice. Let this be a warning. Not all that glitters is gold. Don't forget to give me a follow.
You've seen it with all of these corporate women that do an IVF and no man, and single mothers complaining and begging for a man to come and rescue them, so to speak. And so these younger women who are seeing these older women lie to them really think that they're going to be okay when they reach that age, not realizing that the reality of it is it doesn't get better as you get older. It gets progressively worse.
It's interesting to me that these are the same women shouting from the rooftops when they're our age that they feel invisible, that it's hard, that where are all the good men, that being single is so sad and depressing. So this is the wisdom, young ladies, if you're willing to listen. When you get older, you will be so grateful to not have to do the last third of life by yourself.
My perfect man would be a tall, black stallion. He loves to cook because I'm not really a good cook, so that's his thing. He loves driving. He loves driving the kids to school in the morning. He's just really, really hands-on. With my kids. He's sterile because he can't have kids of his own, so he really cherishes mine. He's funny. We do movie quotes all the time. Every time we go around, we just laugh and do karaoke. He's smart. He is very good with the money. He takes care of all that, and he just...
Fall comes to us and it's on time. Fighters keepers, losers we.
Hit that like button. Go ahead. Do it now before I reach out into that screen and twist your hand like Aunt Esther. Hit the like button. Thank you.
Destroy.
Girl, yes. Okay now, baby. Okay? Girl, yes. Okay now. nah, baby.
Nigga ass, loser ass nigga.
Your video with comments about a
He's a
certain
loser.
other female.
Just to let you niggas know, we don't need y'all. We want y'all, but we don't need you.
20 years later.
Our black men, we want all y'all back. Because we love you, we see you, kings. And most importantly, we need you. And most importantly, we need you.
And most importantly, we need you.
You can't.
If you a that's for the streets.
You can't delete the ski.
Fire for your mind. Clinician. Aside to become the kosher clinician, the story and the war cry behind the kosher clinician was similar to some of the struggles and the things that I've been through as a man. And some of you men are still going through that right now. There's a philosophical term called an existentialist crisis. Basically what that means is that you begin to ask yourself the question of why am I existing? What is the purpose of my existence? And I think that's the story of a lot of men that have not been more or less raised or under the tutelage of masculine men. One of the greatest indictments, guys, about the manosphere is that people assert and assume that the manosphere pushes misogyny and hate. But the manosphere is not responsible and was created a silo as the front to women or black women. But the manosphere was responsible for the pain and suffering that many black men were going through and continue to go through as we speak now. Once again, gentlemen, we are going through an existential crisis. Our country is in trouble. Some of you are in trouble, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And you're not ready to move to higher ground until you get the requisite help that's going to help you become the better version of yourself.
Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician. All right.
There it is.
All right.
Now hit it for me.
And it ain't culture. 7 in hell is what they taught you. We'll put them, and you can back up in young Dawson. Kosher. Clinician.
All right, stop that. All I want you to say is, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. Say that first, okay?
All right.
All right, you ready?
Start over?
Yeah, start it.
No. Okay, if it ain't 7, it ain't culture, and...
If it ain't 7, it ain't culture.
Okay.
Heaven and hell is what they taught you.
Okay, perfect. Do that again, but give me a little attitude. If it ain't 7, it ain't culture.
All right.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
And action.
Young heads picking back up in young Dolphin. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician. That was cool.
If it ain't 7, it ain't culture. Heaven and hell, that's what they taught you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up in young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama no kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters acting like vultures. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
All right, guys. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. If you guys can hear me, hit 1. If you can hear me, hit 1. If you like what I'm doing, guys, share this stream. Share this stream if you like what I'm doing. Donate to the channel. And we're going to get right into it in a minute, guys. I want to thank the 10 that are watching for taking the time out of their busy schedule to check in and listen to the Kosher Clinician. Hopefully tomorrow I got another good show for you guys. As you guys know, my mother passed away back in May. It's been a month to this day that my mom passed. And
It's been crazy. But God is good. I'm grateful. I know my mom was in the presence of God, so do I get sad sometimes? Yeah, but I got to keep going, man. Such is life. I'm gonna die at some point too. But I've been pushing this show back for a while, guys, and I'm saying if you're watching, man, I try to get in contact with you, but I guess you're busy, so I had to go ahead and do the show. But I got a good show for you guys on tomorrow. And guys, donate to the channel if you like what I'm doing. But let's get into it once again. Some of you guys know of the woman named Kristen Carrison. She was the famous divester and swirler. That's been on YouTube for a long period of time. And as you guys know, one of my points of contention, one of my points of consternation is this. While as a male content creator, I don't have an issue with decent women giving input on male issues. There are some genuine women, they have good intentions, but I would say a large portion are not. And sometimes some of these so-called femininity coaches, they're just trying to steal the spotlight, or many times they're trying to change the conversation with what men are saying and what men are trying to do. Many modern women try to come in the back door to redeem themselves after they've given their virtue away so easily. And what many are finding out now is that it's not as easy just to get a man like it was in the past. Competent, whole, intellectual, functional, hardworking, blue-collar, and also white-collar men, white or black, whatever the gender, not gender, but ethnic origin, is beginning to recuse themselves more or less and hopefully deal with women that are more consistent with their worldview and also their expectation. And so Anton did a yeoman's work exposing this so-called fake femininity content creator. And, I watched her. I've seen her a couple of times. But, anytime you hear about femininity coaches from the April Masons of the world, from the Nicole Michelles, from the Rebecca Lynn Popes, they're going to always have an angle that's going to benefit women. Somehow they're going to find an angle that's going to benefit women. They'll say, oh, well, real men, pay bills, or real men take care of another woman's kids, or only a broken, dusty man would be on the internet debating with a woman. And that's a byproduct of mental distortions. It is hard to find a woman that's a Proverbs 31 woman. That woman is a rare woman. She was rare in biblical times, but she's even rare now. A Proverbs 31 woman is a woman that understands her assignment. She has a heart for Christ. She has a heart for God. But also, more importantly, she has a heart for her husband. And you guys will be surprised the amount of men that I talk to on a regular basis that are dealing with women that don't honor them, respect them, and or the dirty word that many don't like, obey them. You don't find that. And so a woman that's a true Proverbs 31 woman, or has some of the traits of a Proverbs 31 woman, is a woman that's striving to do the right thing. She has a good heart. She's striving. She always put her feelings on the back burner, and she put her husband's needs and her family needs at the forefront. And a good man that's a righteous man will always reciprocate a woman of that same ilk. But I had a show with my girl, Red Lipstick Vibe. Shout out to her. And in the clip, I'm going to show you guys this clip. This is an example of fake femininity. But actually, before I show you these guys, let's go back and recap what Anton was saying about how he exposed fake femininity with this young lady, Ty, whatever her name is.
Through all of what she's been through, this got another husband. Half of y'all can't even find a husband, and she got a husband that's willing to sit up there on trial and listen about how she got ran through and how she got her mouth pissed in. You know what women are saying online? In mass. Mm-hmm. That's a good man, Savannah. I'm going to speak to the guys, and I'm going to speak to all of the men that's watching this that got wives, that got girlfriends. That you're being ridiculous. I think that they're innocent. Let me tell you, big dog, she'll go.
I bet she won't.
I bet you she will. She's a femininity coach. And she say that she hold women accountable. He started to get uncomfortable because she started exposing herself as a chameleon. Now the simp is going to start to come. I bet you she won't. Nigga, if she wouldn't, then she wouldn't be here in the first place. Nigga, send her over here for 48 hours. She gonna come back a different person.
And you know, and to be true to form, a lot of them are fake. They're fake. And you know, the hypocrisy is this: we're not justifying what Sean Puffy Combs did. That's not the point. We're not justifying what he did. But the hypocrisy is, you expect a man to deal with the fact that his wife has been violated by another man, doing all kinds of disrespectful things to his wife. If a man did that to my wife, I'm gone. I'm not going to sit up and humiliate myself and then dignify myself. But many modern women want to make men become simps. It's a psychological emasculation. What she's doing, she's trying to make him a psychological eunuch. Because only in America is the place where men can have a voice and where men cannot have a preference without being called misogynistic. And it's problematic, guys, because as I said earlier, I have so many of these conversations with men in my private practice that are dealing with similar issues, where the woman has an ideal of what she wants, but she's so selfish and lack understanding of what a man wants, then is the problem. Because many times they see themselves as victims. And so we live in a world where most women fundamentally don't understand men. We live in a world where we know that men can and are chameleons. And we equally know that telling the truth don't get you a lot of support. And so you're beginning to see a generation of men that are beginning to speak up, speak out, beginning to change themselves, beginning to look in different directions because they want women that are consistent with helping them feel masculine as men. And sadly, you have so many men, or a percentage of men, that go against what men are trying to establish. It's highly problematic. But not only is it problematic, those kind of behaviors are also highly predictable. And Anton exposed this so-called fake femininity coach that's supposed to be holding women accountable. Because in reality, women are supposed to hold women accountable after they've been led and taught by their men. And here's another example of fake femininity going wrong when you hold them accountable. Hold tight.
I told them the other night is trigger. Once you trigger them, the mask gonna come off.
You know, the mask gonna come off. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Like, we've seen it. We've seen it.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
All you have to do is trigger them, and the real them will come out.
The real them will come out. You're right.
Out the door. They'll start talking about your little peen. They'll start cussing.
Right.
Wow, you know, what's gone? Salvation gone. She no longer a church girl. She don't forgot about her call as a pastor because she cuss you out now. It is a real thing. It is a real thing.
Yeah. Or these things still.
I don't think we know. We're not those women. We don't. I don't think so. I don't.
You're not what women like vote for Biden?
Yeah, no, I didn't vote for him. Fordham and the whole feminism thing. No, that's not something. No.
To answer the general question, it is working against women for sure.
I thought he was asking us what do we think. So I don't know.
Yeah, but he for sure was asking us what we think, but he wasn't saying us personally. He was saying, do we think it's working against women in general? Which yes, it is.
I think it is.
Luna, did you say you're covering up for your husband, that thing on your head for that reason?
Okay, I'm not about to entertain your personal questions because
let me ask you something. Because I don't. My mind says credibility is everything. Was that not you? That was somebody else in that bathing suit or your last thing over there? Was that somebody else or was that you? Just asking. On your last little picture thing. If it was somebody else, you could say that. If it wasn't, okay.
What you say, baby?
Hey, was that you or no?
Can I address what you just said about
the question that was originally stated?
Voting.
To answer the
Was
question
that you? Because you was asked out. No, I just want to make sure. Okay, so you kept.
Thank you, YKS for $199. Luna got an OnlyFans?
Credibility is shot. Hold up, you got an OnlyFans, Luna? For real? Luna.
Yeah.
You got an OnlyFans?
Does that question? Why does
Wait.
if I'm married though? Why does it matter? Because
Wait.
Whoa. Let me talk.
Wait, what the fuck is going on?
Whoa.
Listen, Luna's shaking the table with her OnlyFans. Hold on.
Like they've said in the past, this is what happens when people are blowing bubbles up your behind. In this show, we will explore the dynamics associated with fake femininity and how this woman named Luna, like so many, come into men's spaces, not only to more or less fame or virtue signal, but also to throw off what men are trying to do as it relates to male empowerment. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this show, guys. We're going to talk about how intellectualization and rationalization was used in this show and how these ego defense mechanisms are used when people are trying to deflect from accountability. Be well. And what you see a lot of times, and what you're going to see in the show with Anton, is a bunch of intellectualization where they use data and statistics to justify their faulty ego, but also where they use rationalization. They try to rationalize that what this woman named Casey did was right. They try to rationalize that a man should be understanding that his wife was pummeled by another man. They try to rationalize that men and women are the same, and men and women are not the same. We're the same when it comes down to being human beings, but we're not wired the same. And so many times the argument would be men did it or men do it. And we're going to talk about that later in the show. But men fundamentally are not wired to deal with a lot of the things that you see with modern women now. Men by nature want virtuous women. There's a term that I created called the penetration principle. Most men are not wired to have the thought of their wives being entered by multiple men. Most men can't handle that, even if they did it themselves, because they're not wired. But conversely, if a woman had been with another woman, some men can handle it. They might not take it serious for a wife, but many men can handle it. But if a man said, I've been with another man because of the penetration principle, a woman cannot handle that because women are wired to look up to a man. So what liberalism has done has caused women to think they are equivalent or equal to men because they want power. And they've given their virtue away by giving their body to multiple men, which was their asset, only to come back on their back end, try to reach back and give men damaged goods, and then expect a man to want to take them serious for a wife. Most masculine men don't work that way unless they got a low self-esteem, they were raised by women, and they're shamed into relationships. And so what you're seeing now is that it's fake femininity. Crystalline Carrison, whatever her name is, has been in YouTube for a while. She's known as Crystalline Swirl. She dated white men. She was a divester, maybe still is a divester. But I keep telling men, once you travel abroad, once you know what your worth is, once you know how much power you got, you will never settle for mediocrity. And I see it all the times, many times in my therapy sessions, a bunch of broken men, they don't know what their worth is, and they continue to settle for mediocrity. They settle for mediocrity because they don't know what their worth is. Guys, do me a favor, share this stream, support the channel, share the stream, please. So let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. We're going to get into this clip by this so-called woman called the Pink Pill. And the question is, how do we get here? How do we get to where we're at now? How do we get here? And we got here in several ways. A lot of it is the advent of the liberation movement. And the liberation movement was when women started having fun. That's partially how we got here. It was the advent of the liberation movement. And what you're seeing now has metastasized into a bunch of nonsense. Older women in the dating market trying to find viable men, and it's become almost impossible. And it's happened on both sides. Average men are invisible, and average women want the top tier men. But at the end of the day, what are you giving those men? Nothing. You're not giving them anything. And that's why so many men are so frustrated with dating and relationships, especially if they are masculine men, because masculine men want traditional women for the most part. That's what they want. And so it's becoming problematic when they come down to dating. So the question once again is, how do we get here? And now it's so bad that a lot of people, even the men and the women, are checking out, unfortunately, because they cannot get what they are looking for. Shout out to Gail at night. Shout out to my dear friend Gail. Shout out to my man, the Trey Willis channel. Shout out to that brother. But how do we get here and where are we going? Because now things are so far gone and some things are so far out of control that what used to make sense in the past doesn't make sense anymore. Women of old understood that they wanted a good man, they had to compete for that man. Women now think by default they don't have to compete for anybody. And it becomes what's called a disequilibrium of power, where women don't understand equivocally what men want in relationships. And so what you see now is a bunch of men that have been more or less indifferent. They're checking out. They don't care. They're beginning to redefine what their worth is. They're beginning to raise the bar higher. They're beginning to reestablish what their standards are, or they're just checking out the game altogether by being single, and they just don't care. And that's why I was sort of shocked to see Crystal and Peterson, the divestor and the swirler, on Anton Daniels' channel, because they all want to reach back and sell men fake femininity. Most femininity coaches are not true feminine women. Many of them are reconstituted women that try to rebrand themselves and resell themselves as something virtuous. Because like I said in the past, as soon as you say something counterintuitive to what they like or don't like, then they disappear. They just disappear altogether. They disappear and they stop dealing with you because they don't like what you're saying. I've always said, if it's not you, then why take it personal? You should take something personal if you're not doing it. If you haven't disrespected yourself by allowing multiple men to use you, then why take it personal? Because when men decide to get married, men are very intentional. A man can deal with a woman for 15 years, but the woman that he really wants, if that's the woman that he really wants, he'll marry that woman right away. Men categorize women from wife to just something to play with. And I'm not endorsing fornication, but I'm just being honest. And so that's the problem that we have fundamentally now. The dating market is trash. It's getting worse. And many men are becoming indifferent, which in essence is impacting families, it's impacting communities, it's impacting relationships, it's impacting what once was a thriving black community. Because I've always said, guys, before that the black women of the past that were from the old school, those women were the greatest women ever. So let's look into some of these clips about, what dating looks like for a lot of women. Then we're gonna get into the video part about Anton. And guys, please forgive if there's language. Please forgive some of this language, guys. Do me a favor, if you like what I'm doing, donate to the channel, please. Thank you.
Play games or like ignore you for a week, or act like I don't like you so you like me more. I just literally can't do it. Like, if I like you, I'm gonna reach out. If I like you, I'm gonna make plans with you. If I like you, I'm going to text you. If I had a good time on a date, I'm gonna let you know. Like, what? I literally like have no hope, bro. And I feel like every single time I start getting closer to a guy and like we're dating for a while or whatever, they literally get freaked out. I don't know if they get freaked out or if they just don't like me. Like, I don't know what it is. Because I know it's not me, bitch. No, but like they literally just seem to get freaked out. Or if I like put pressure on them to like act right, they don't like that. Because they want a bitch who's going to put up with them not acting right. And they get to just do whatever they want.
And guys, y'all forgive the language. And, like my man Trey said, and some women get mad when men say this, but men and women both are prize worthy. But many women think by default, they are just the prize by default. And you're not the prize by default. You must earn your way into a man's life. The man is the master prize because he's a gatekeeper to relationships. But she can be his special prize. That man needs to bring something that will make that woman be attracted to him long term. The problem is with women being hypergamous, they want the best of the best of the best of men. So women that are fives think they can get tens. They can be intimate with a 10, but a 10 is not going to marry her. Whereas the man that's a 5 struggles to get another 5 because she thinks she's better than that man that's a 5. And so some of these women, or many of these women, had many opportunities to get husbands, but they minimized those men in the process. And that's what the problem is.
And treat the girl however they want. So I've noticed that when I call that out in certain men that I've dated, they don't like that. They get really upset and angry, and then they gaslight you and flip the script and make you feel like you're the weirdo, like you're crazy, like you're doing too much. Like, bro, we've been dating for 6 months and I'm not your girlfriend, bitch. What? Yeah, like,
forgive the language.
It's not
Forgive
gonna
the
work for
language.
me. So it's like,
forgive the language, guys.
I don't know. I just feel like people are extremely afraid of commitment, which I get. Like, I have a fear of commitment too, but at the same time, I'm willing to put myself out there and like take a risk and see where shit goes. Like, you're never going to have a serious, healthy relationship if you don't do that. And I think when you show interest or attention in men, it only freaks men who aren't ready for that commitment. That freaks them out, and then they run for the fucking hills. Or if you want something more serious and they just want to fuck you, they're running for the hills. And I find this happening, and I now, when I date people, I do not hook up with them until, like, unless you are my boyfriend, I'm not fucking you. We're not hooking up. Like, we'll make out and shit, but I'm not fucking you. And recently I dated a guy, and I feel like this happened. Like, we went on a few dates, and I wasn't hooking up with him, and he really wanted to hook up, and I was like, no. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna be like, just all these excuses, right, to like not continue dating, which is fine. That just weeds out the guys who aren't meant for you or who are looking just to get in your pants. And I was upset and hurt, but at the same time, I'm so glad that I stood my ground and kept my boundaries up, because if I had hooked up with him, I would have been even more hurt and upset. But yeah, dating in this generation is fucking whack. It's weird. I don't understand. Like, I don't want to play games. Like, do you like me or not? Like, come on.
And you show interest in a person, that makes you weird. Like,
bruh, I've literally never related to anything more, and it literally makes me feel like there's something wrong with me. But
the dating scene nowadays is just...
And the dating scene is horrible because the average guys are invisible. The apex predator men are galvanizing or dealing with all the women. And because of such high expectations, men are beginning to check out. You know, I'm from Gen X. Gen X was a time when men used to romanticize women. We went on dates. Women didn't mind cooking a man a meal. The man didn't mind washing her car. He didn't mind changing her oil. But many times in relationships now, the element of reciprocity is not quite there. And if you want to have a healthy relationship, you got to reciprocate, man and woman. But a lot of modern women now don't want to reciprocate because they equivocate all things pertaining to what men want as being slavery. If you want a husband, you got to audition. Cooking a man a meal is not wife duties. No more than a man taking you out to dinner. If you say, if a woman say cooking a man a meal is wife duties, then that man taking you to a restaurant also is husband duties. That man protecting you when you are out is husband duty. You know, that man helping you with your car is husband duty. Why we got to put these titles on things when we can just say, you know, I'm going to have some kindness and show a man with kindness. It doesn't hurt you to fix a man a meal. No more than it hurts a man to take you out to dinner, or if something's wrong with your car, he said, I got that, I'm going to take care of it for you. But it got to be reciprocated, and it doesn't happen, sadly, here in modern times.
Horrible. Like, I'm so sick of it. These men don't know how to properly court. They don't know how to plan dates. They want you to chase them. They feel like they're the prize. Listen, I'm sick of it. Take me back to the 19th.
And men and women don't understand. Women keep... You are not a man's prize unless that man deem you his prize. That's what women don't understand. Just because you think you're a prize, it doesn't mean that you're a prize. You can't say you're a prize and you know you've been with a bunch of men. You got multiple kids by multiple men. You know, you're overweight, you're entitled, you don't have self-awareness. You know, you don't have a high emotional IQ. You have a lot of thinking errors and also ego defense mechanisms like intellectualization and rationalization. You have unhealed wounds. You're not the prize, ma'am. When you travel abroad, women abroad compete because they know and understand that abroad, because women abroad are so attractive, they all competing for men. But women now think they don't have to compete. And I promise you, if you're going to get with a decent man or a good man, you will compete for that man's affection. Grandma understood that because grandma, when she was competing for granddaddy, many times would put a pie outside the window, and that pie would be a sign that she was a competent woman, or she could add value to that man's life. Or she would drop a handkerchief to try to get that man's attention. Or she would exhibit acts of kindness. She would speak to his love language. Because a person's love language is acts of kindness, words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts, and quality time, I believe. But women now don't want to do that. You're not the prize by default. You're the special prize. But he is the master prize. The man is the prize catcher. The man sees that woman as his prize. Therefore, she becomes his catch. She's the catch and he's the master prize. She's been caught by the master prize because he defines a wife find a good thing. But many women are not wise. They don't know anything about being a wife. You got more men doing household chores and raising babies than the actual women do. They put their own selfish needs above the needs of their husband. They ration out sex to their husband, which is unrighteous and ungodly. They don't keep themselves looking pretty. But when you travel abroad, those women work out. They keep themselves looking pretty. And they compete because they understand that quality men are hard to find. And in foreign countries, men don't care. They don't care. In foreign countries, men are allowed to be men. Only in America is where men have to overdo just to get what average to subpar women.
60s where men actually married you and took you out on dates and loved you and stayed with you for life? Because I can't.
And she a baby mama. And she a baby mama. Women of the 60s, ma'am, were virgins, the majority of them. Or women of the 60s had under 5 men. After the advent of the love revolution, you start seeing a great decadence in the quality of relationships. When women be with a bunch of men, many of them don't make good relationships because they've had too much experience. And like I said before in the past, many have said that men and women are the same. We're not the same. A woman wants a man that she can look up to and respect. Just like a man wants a woman that he sees his special prize. Can you imagine a man going to Home Depot or Lowe's or going to a car that had a lot of miles on it, or a box? I call it the open box principle. He opened the box, closed it back up. Then somebody else come and open the box, close it back up. And a bunch of men keep opening the box and closing the box, and she's still trying to sell that box for full price. It doesn't make any sense. And the problem fundamentally with modern women now is that they never ask men what they wanted. They keep telling men what they wanted instead of becoming what a man wants. A feminine woman is being. A masculine man is doing. They're both complementary. The more she becomes, is the more that he'll do. But many want a man to do without becoming what she needs that man to happen to do. In good relationships, from a psychological perspective, he benefits, she benefits. But in modern relationships now, she's supposed to benefit and he gets nothing unless it's a man that she deems to be important. And it's antithetical to theology, especially Christian theology, because the Bible tells the woman to honor and obey her husband and to love her husband. So you want 1960 treatment, but you're acting like a modern woman, and it doesn't work that way.
I can't do all this. I can't do all this cheating. I can't do all this running behind a man. I can't do all this forgiving. Baby, you cheat on me and it's done. I ain't gonna never be the same with you. I'm sick of it. Like, what's going on? What is going on? It's like the roles have reversed. These men want to be chased. These men want to get money. These men think they're like the princesses and the queens. I can't do it no more. Like, I'm not having any luck in this generation. Nothing, nada, because I'm not going to put up with nothing crazy. I'm not going to run you down. I'm not going to ask you on a date. This is crazy. The dating scene now.
What the does that mean? I don't get why I'm still single. I don't get it.
She said she don't. She said she don't. She said she don't
What
get
is
it.
going on in my life where I don't have a man?
And let me tell you something, guys. The conversation that men are beginning to have, it's spreading like wildfire. I told you good men in the past, and guys, do me a favor, share the content, donate to the channel, please, for the last time. If you like what I'm doing, show the channel some love. As my channel continues to grow, I'm gonna have to start going to different avenues. I've been saying it for the last 2 years, and I'm gonna do it at some point. Still gonna do male content, but I'm gonna start doing different things because I don't want to be this pigeonhole. I mean, I enjoy doing work for the brothers, but putting content together takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of hours, it takes a lot of research, and I'm a one-man show that happens to be a therapist. But to those that have supported the channel, I appreciate it. But let's get back to the show. She said that she's the prize, but once again, what are you giving to a man to make yourself the prize? And this is what men are dealing with, guys, in dating now and relationships.
Or my standards too high? Do I box myself in a corner all the time? Like nowadays, men today want to be chased. What happened to masculinity? What happened to chivalry? What happened to...
You said you were strong and independent and you didn't need a man. You said you didn't want men to open the doors for you. You said that chivalry was part of the patriarchy. Because see, chivalry was part of patriarchy. Women got the most protection under patriarchy. But sadly, they see all patriarchal men as being abusers. Women look at men from an abuse perspective, abuse and degradation. But they don't see the benefits of what the patriarchy was. And truthfully, black men never had a true patriarchy because we never had power. But this is what happens when women listen to liberalism and feminism.
Men courting women. What happened to that? Back in the day, dating was so...
And back in the day, women had a greater level of respect for their bodies. Now it's Netflix and chill. This is what's called a countercultural revolution. It's Netflix and chill. And men don't take those women serious anymore. When you give your value away for free, you don't make a man earn it. You don't respect yourself.
Still ignoring ChatGPT?
What happens fundamentally is that men begin to lose respect for the woman. Men begin to lose respect for the woman. So a lot of men have lost respect for relationships and women in general because, what once was value, which was her being chased, the good book said that women should be chased. It's what made that woman special to that man. Most men anyway. Some men don't care, but most men do care. But now, what is he getting? Nothing. You want to be equal to men when it comes down to being in having a bunch of partners. Not understanding the average man cannot have as much coitus as the average woman. The average woman can be with 100 men a year. The average man can't. Most men are in relationships where they don't even have any intimacy. But the hypocrisy is women like Casey wanted to more or less be seen as a victim, and they wanted P. Diddy to be the bad guy. And I'm not saying that he didn't do some trash, but this woman was not innocent. And you see how these fake femininity coaches come to the rescue because they want to, instead of holding women accountable, then they see the man as being the pariah. And that's fundamentally flawed.
So much easier. And it was fun. Today's dating is hell. You give a guy your number, and all of a sudden, you don't hear from them until like 3 to 4 days later. What was the point of me giving you my number? If you're not going to text me, I don't get it. The talking doesn't go as far as the actual app. There are no, oh, let me take you out to dinner. Let's go catch a movie. Let's go to a cafe and get to know each other. What's with all the endless text messages? What happened to men actually planning dates? What happened to it? I don't get it. How do you date in today's society? What are some of your red flags and your non-negotiables? I do not chase men. I don't do it. I did it once, would never do it again. No. Never again will I chase a guy. My biggest ick is a guy that can't hold the conversation. Now, I gotta talk the whole goddamn date. I hate it.
Guys, please forgive the language. Please forgive the language. I do not endorse the language. Please forgive the language. I do not endorse the language. Please forgive the language. I didn't know this. I'm just looking at this, so I didn't get a chance to pre-cut it.
I don't got time to be dating no guy that don't have no money. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound shallow, but I've dated broke men my whole life. I have. Now I'm in a place where I have money and I want to travel and I want to see the world. I don't want you to buy me nothing because I can buy it myself. That's not what I want. I want you to have the financial stability to pick up and go on a trip. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for no Louis. I'm not asking for no goddamn bust down Chanel. I don't even goddamn like designer. I don't. I really don't. Oh, you're just very intimidating. What the does that mean? How do I come off intimidating when I'm the most socializing person ever? Specifically, my ladies, I want to hear how you are dating, especially in today's generation. What are some dating apps you're on? Where do you go to date? And what are just some of your non-negotiables when it comes to dating these men? Because I ain't got time. Anyway, this is the makeup look. I wanted something really cute and rosy. Bye, guys.
And not understanding
today's dating and society is just horrible.
Not understanding that she lacks self-awareness and she lacks empathy. I would never deal and date with the typical average woman if I was a single man again. I got married from an old school love when men dated women. I used to love the court. I think courting is beautiful. It's not like, treating a woman good and treating a woman well, as long as she take care of you. But dealing with these women now, I would never even look at them. I wouldn't even take them serious.
The new texting is getting to know you. People easily can move on to somebody else with a quick sliding in their DMs or getting on a dating app. Sleeping with other people is so much easier than working hard for it. People don't want to make effort anymore. We don't set up dates. We ask you, what do you...
Right. That's what made, he's right. That's what made relationships so powerful. Because women fundamentally in the past make men earn it. Women now don't make men earn it anymore. They give it away like Christmas candy. They give it away for free. So there's no incentive anymore.
You want to go eat? What are you craving? Nah, man. Back in the days, you'd have to make effort. The 80s and 90s love is so much different. You had to actually talk to them. You had to call them.
Right. He's right. I'm from the 90s. I'm Gen X. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand a lot of this stuff. Back in Gen X, we cold approach women. Back in Gen X, we dated. There was some stuff in the 90s too, but not like everything there is so basic and boring, man. We would take women out on dates. We would go to walks in the park. We would listen to music. We would be on Highway 17, listen to Anita Baker, listen to Sir John P. Key. It was a beautiful time. But the world now is crazy. It's crazy, it's wicked, and it's upside down. And that's why when my mom passed away, I said, tomorrow ain't never coming back.
We didn't have FaceTime. We'd meet up for coffee. We would get to know each other, and we build a future together. Today's society is, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then you get ghosted, or you get used, and then they find somebody else. No one cares about your feelings anymore. The society of dating is crap. It literally makes me sick to my stomach. And to be honest with you, I'd rather stay single until I find that old school love. I'm nobody's temporary. I'm someone's forever. You better remember that.
Right. Let me tell you something, guys. I like what this man said. When you know what your worth is, you don't settle for the nonsense. The games, the manipulation. You gotta cash out me money. You gotta take me to an expensive restaurant. When a woman is really serious about you, you don't have to do all of that. You actually don't have to do none of that. So I'm so grateful that I grew up in the late 80s and early 90s. I was 14 in 86. I graduated back in 1990. And social media primarily has messed up a lot of average women. And so once again, if I was a single man again, I'm good, man. Because like I said, I would love to, I'm old school. I like dating the women and, treating her well. And, we go for walks in the park. And
buying her nice gifts, but they got to be reciprocated. It's not for free. And most women in modern times don't deserve that kind of love in the first place. They don't even deserve it.
If you're a woman in 2025 and you have a man,
she's right. Listen what this woman is saying. You better keep your man like you keep your job, because so many of them get rid of good men or decent men that were tolerable. They should have kept that man, but they get rid of them only to realize when they get back here in the dating market, they're gonna get ran through, and they don't have the same option they had in their 20s. You just don't. You're older now. Your body has radically changed. You should have been loyal and kind to the man that you had, but they divorced good men for stupid stuff. I'm not talking about abusive men. I'm not talking about men that have done them wrong, but I'm talking about they're abusing for different stuff.
keep your man. Keep your man. Don't let him go. Because the whole process of getting to know another motherfucker and
excuse the
trying to
language,
be in a
guys. Excuse the
relationship with
language.
another motherfucker.
Excuse the language. Please forget the language. I'm just randomly going through stuff. But yeah. Excuse the language, guys.
Fucked up out here right now. Keep your man. If y'all in love, if you love him, he's a bum. Long as he ain't beating on you and molesting your kids, doing no crazy shit, keep your man. If he's a bum, I'm pretty sure he's good at something. Just appreciate that he helps out around the house and he cleans up, and just having a man in your house.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, I wanted to jump on here really quick, and
I'm just giving you guys some snapshots about dating and how we got here, and how femininity coaches now are trying to convince men that they should get in relationships, and how they're trying to convince men that they should be more understanding of women. And then we're going to get to the Anton Daniels video real quick. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you have not donated to the channel, donate to the channel, please. Hit the like button, guys, donate to the channel. And share the content, please. Share the content, donate to the channel, and also hit the like.
Hit that like button. Go ahead, do it now before I reach out into that screen and twist your hand like Aunt Esther. Hit the like button. Thank you.
destroy. Tell you guys, like, I literally been in a nightmare dating this guy for like 6 months. Like, the dating pool nowadays, and I've been seeing this on TikTok for a while, but it's really scary out here. It's really, really scary. And it doesn't matter what type of woman you are, it's scary. And the options are very, very thin. And I see how people can be jumping to other races because our black men, and I'm not saying all because I love my black man, but it's given, it's not given. It's not even given. You know? Like, we got to play all these games. Like, I'm tired of these games. And I came to the conclusion that I may be single for a long time. I may not be able to get married. I may not have a long-term relationship because I will be damned if I have to lower my standards or have no boundaries, you know? Like, it's so crazy. It's really, really crazy. And I'm just coming to the fact that this may be a possibility if, you know, God doesn't send the right man. But I know that I'm done with choosing him because obviously I have a bad track record of making good decisions when it comes to dating men, you know? And
this is what happens where women don't fundamentally allow their fathers to help them pick the right man. But see, you got a generation of women now that are disobedient. They don't respect their fathers. They don't respect order. You can try to do everything in your power to guide them in the right direction. They don't listen. And if things don't work out, then they'll say it was your fault when you were just trying to help them out. And I'm so grateful I grew up in the 90s. I'm so grateful that I saw what black love looked like back in the 70s. You know, I'm so grateful for my mother and my father that I was able to experience what a lot of kids have never experienced. Growing up in the South, growing up in the country, growing up in the sticks, seeing my dad get it in, grind hard. Man, family is the most important thing in the world, man. Family is so powerful, man. It ain't nothing like family. And that's why I said if I was ever single again, I'm good because I know what I want. And I'm not selling for mediocrity. I didn't get what I got to deal with an average woman to take half of what I work hard for all these years. You don't even qualify. I wouldn't even look at you. I'm not going to take you serious. Not for my woman, I would. And if you've done the work as a man, neither should you.
I have to, it's just, at this point, I'm lost for words because it's unbelievable. And it's like they want to be with you to tear you down. And don't be a woman with confidence or, like to take care of yourself. And don't dare be a good mother. Don't be a good hard worker either. Or have ambitions or goals. And don't you dare hit your goals. They're going to come for you. And it's going to be the person that you consider your other half. Like, it's really scary. And I never wanted to be that type of woman to be like, oh, I'm done with dating. But I'm really done with dating. Like, I'm a retired crash out. And I've been retired for like 2.
And guess what, ma'am? A lot of men are also done with dating. The average invisible men are done with dating. They're done with it as well. The average invisible guy is also done with dating. He's focusing on his purpose. He's focused on getting closer to God. And also he's focusing on trying to leave legacy, hopefully for the woman of his dreams. But so many men now are content with just being by themselves and having their peace. And I'm sure there are some women that feel the same way. I'm sure there are some women that just want their peace. I'm not mad at you. If you're dealing with a man that's not giving you peace, hey, I'm not mad at you. But my channel is to advocate for men in traditional relationships.
2 or 3 years now, and I'll be damned if I go back to that life. Like, I just want an easy breezy life, and it seemed like the only way I'm gonna get that is being by myself. And it's crazy because you want to share like with someone, like you want to have fun and go out and stuff like that. But what I experienced, no, it's like diabolical. You want me to take you on a date? What? No. You want me to what? Like, what do you?
But see, here's the hypocrisy. Modern women fought for equality. A lot of American black women believed a lie of feminism. They wanted to be equal to men. They said they were strong and independent. They didn't need a man. When you tried to hold doors open for them, they said they didn't want it. I got this. They will flex their muscles. I got this. So men say, okay, fine. Since we're equal, you can take me on a date. Men start saying drizzle, drizzle. They're in that soft king era. They start saying drizzle, drizzle. Guys say, wow, I ain't got the burden of the responsibility of being of doing all what my predecessor had to do. And so you created the malaise that you're having now, because men are the gatekeepers to marriage, but you're the gatekeepers to giving your body away. So men say, okay, fine, I'm not going to put in the work. And now you got a bunch of broken, dysfunctional people that are trying to come back and use these fake femininity techniques to get men to commit to them. And they don't like spaces like this and other male spaces because we empower men to get the best. And if they cannot get the best, if those men have done the work, 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 if those men don't have a bunch of baggage themselves, because we know that a man that got a good steady job and got good income is totally different. Because if I was a single man, even though my kids are mostly grown, I probably wouldn't deal with a woman with kids. Because I can take care of my own kids and my kids are grown. And also I can start a family with another woman if I was a single man again. I don't want to have to be in no situation where I gotta, fight with her about disciplining her kids. I ain't got time for that. And you're not gonna get my resources. You're not gonna get my money. I don't have time to be no family. I'm not gonna be debating with no woman about disciplining somebody else's kids. And many don't like it as well because men are beginning to check out. As I said before, I talked to so many men that are frustrated, so many men that don't get the respect that they deserve and desire, so many men that want good quality women and good quality relations. Most men don't ask for much. And now a lot of men are beginning to realize what they deserve, and they're beginning to realize what their worth is, and they're beginning to reassess themselves. Shout out to my man, Kenny Peoples. Good evening, Brother Peoples. Good evening to Brother Peoples. Shout out to Cortez Smith. And guys, do me a favor once again, hit the like button, share this content, please. As I told you guys before, I'm going to start doing different things in the future. It's time for me to get in this algorithm, man. I'm not doing YouTube just to, lose time and don't make any money. So I got to get creative because YouTube is a hard business. But I'm grateful to the 25 that are watching. I really appreciate it, guys. So hold tight.
Even talking about, and you be looking like, damn, am I really asking for too much? Like, why am I even having to ask? So it's just sad. It's just really scary. It's really scary. And it was definitely a lesson learned, though. A lesson that I'm tired of relearning over and over again. It's just like, Tavia, at this point, God would just basically have to bring the man directly to me because I don't make good decisions when it comes to dating. I always look at the possibility or the potential, and that's where I really get fucked up. I have to look at who that person is right then and there and stand on my boundaries. I'm literally at the loss of words. You guys can see, like, I don't even know what to say. But I've been through some shit in the last 6 months. But I'm glad that it's over and I can just move on. But yeah, I think your girl might be solo bolo for a while. I hope for not the rest of my life. Like, I'm 40 and still young and still want to experience life and stuff, but damn, not like that, So put in the comments if you guys can really kind of understand or you've been through the same. But yeah, I'm glad it hadn't go over 6 months, but this shit is crazy.
Yeah, and you're right. At least she does have self-awareness, like somebody said.
Jump on here really quick.
You're correct.
This for the black man and the black woman. How you gonna lay down in the bed with a picture of who?
And I ain't gonna lie, I'm done with the dating shit, bro. I'm tired of going on dates. I'm tired of the same conversations, the what you doing, tell me about yourselves. I'm tired of people being inconsistent.
People are selfish now. I'm so grateful I'm from the old school, man. I thank God I'm still from the old school. Believe in tradition, believe in old school communication. And he's right. Can't hold. I feel sorry for this young man. How many of you men that are dealing with what this young man is dealing with, raise your hand or hit the one button if you're dealing with what this man is dealing with. Because I've been on the dating scene for 29 years, I've been with my wife for 29 years. And if something ever happened to us, I'm not dealing with this crap.
I'm tired of putting in effort. I'm going back to the streets, because that's where I was at before, and I tried to step out and get to know people, and I feel like that was my biggest issue. Just was not taking enough time to try to get to know people, and it's like now I remember why I didn't want to do this shit in the first place. So I'm good on folks, bro, and I ain't gonna lie.
So I just dropped off a passenger that showcased exactly why the dating scene is dead. Dating is over with. It doesn't exist anymore. It is a concept of the past. And here's why. So about 20 minutes ago or so, I picked up a girl at Cavo on the Strip. It's a club here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And she got into the car with two of her guy friends. And they were yapping. And eventually I said, "Are you ready to go?" She said, oh, yes, of course. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And so I started driving. And then she said to her 2 guy friends, oh, I need to debrief you on what happened there in the club. And she was super excited. She was super giddy. And I was like, oh, this should be fun. Because, of course, I'm always privy to this information. And I need to get ready with my popcorn for this debriefing because I'm part of the team for the next 10 minutes. And she goes on to talk about this guy that she met in the club. And she was like, oh, he was so handsome and he was such a great dancer. And he was so smooth and our chemistry was fantastic. And he was just a wonderful dancer. And then he took me behind the dance with the DJ and he introduced me to his friends and the people that worked at the club. And I was like, oh, good for you. Like, I was thinking in my head, this was a fantastic night for you. This is awesome. Like, cool. Girl meets a guy. Maybe this goes somewhere. Maybe we dip our toes in the water. Who knows? Anything can happen, right? But then she said that she got the ick from him. She got the icks from him. And whenever she vocalized the term ick, I knew this was going to get good. And from here, she proceeded to say that the ick she got was whenever he opened his mouth. See, apparently everything was good whenever he was dancing and he was moving the hips and introducing her to his friends. But then whenever he opened his mouth to actually talk.
And this is not just a black man thing. American men are dealing with this nonsense, guys. American men are dealing with this nonsense in dating, in relationships.
She said that she could tell his entire personality just by the few words he was saying, which first and foremost is a gigantic presumption. Not at all surprising, because I listen to these people talk in the back of my car every single fucking day, but nonetheless, a gigantic presumption. But she says that she could tell his entire personality, and that quote unquote, once she knows somebody's personality, she can't hook up with them, she can't pursue anything with them, she can't date them, it's over, it's done, it's finito. That she was not going to text him. She knew right there that she was not going to text him the next day. And the only thing I can think in my head is the human race is going to die. Now, I know that's an exaggeration. The human race is not going to die by a lack of reproduction. Eventually, they'll hit a point where we start having kids again because we'll just see the writing on the wall. That's survival of the fittest. That's what we do. We're a species that wants to continue to live, even though our entire culture seems to not want to do so. But anyways, I could only think 2 things. First and foremost, why? Why is the anxiety so high? Like, clearly this girl is so utterly anxious that she could not possibly stand revealing any information about herself, because you have to think, once she knows something about him, she's going to want to know something about her, and then she's going to have to open up. But that, too much anxiety there, especially if you're getting into a relationship. You have to open up. You have to showcase things about yourself. That's what it is. You get to know somebody, right? So, of course, that's just a huge sign of anxiety. But secondly, I kept thinking, I was like, why are you so special? Like, I want to ask you. I want you to do some self-reflection here. Why are you so special? Right? Like, do you really have something amazing to say coming out of your mouth? And yeah, I know I just set myself up for a gigantic slam dunk, like, oh, you're making a video on TikTok, but it's really stupid. And sure, fair enough. Like, leave that comment. Doesn't hurt my feelings. That's what the social media space is for, to basically roast each other. But really though, I want you to ask yourself something. Do you have something special to open up your mouth and say? Right? Like in her case, does she have something witty or intelligent or funny to say that is so mind-blowing?
Let me ask you guys that are single, what are some of the struggles that you guys see in dating? Does any of this stuff resonate with you? To the single men that are anticipating wives. Because I want my daughters to get with good men. One of my daughters is married. I got 2 home. I got one that's 20, beautiful young woman, no kids, ain't never been ran through. Traditional. I want my daughter to get with a good man. But he got to be the best, though. He got to be top tier. He can't be no dusty dude. I don't want my daughter with no dusty dude. I don't want my bloodline with dusty men. If you dusty, keep it moving. because you got to have a work ethic like her dad. You know, you got to be a man of principle like her father. But what are you men experiencing? I want you guys to tell me in the chat. What are you guys experiencing? If you want to read your comment out loud, feel free to donate to the channel. I'll read it out loud. But what are you guys experiencing in dating, man? What are you guys experiencing? Because everybody I talked to said dating is trash, man.
That makes it like, oh yeah, obviously I want to date her. Like statistically, no. Most people don't. Most people are bland. Most people are boring. Most people are vanilla ice cream. They couldn't fucking touch a sprinkle. They couldn't land in a pool of sprinkles if they were fucking surrounded by one. So really, the reason why I post this video is really simple. Look, if you think the culture is dead, you're right. But if you think you can't do anything about it, you're wrong. You can. And it comes down to actions. If you want to date somebody, go do it. Find people that want to date people. Find people that want something serious. Find people that want something more sustainable, something more long-lasting, something with some real value. If you want to buy into this culture and you want to do it, fine. Be my guest. Doesn't really matter to me. I could give a fucking shit. But just know
forgive the language,
that,
guys. Forgive the language.
This culture is based on anxiety. And the West is trying to commit its own because it hates itself so much. So if you want to be part of that culture, go right ahead. But really it just showcases something about your own internal monologue and how you feel about yourself. If you want to be a part of something that's more sustainable, something that's long-lasting, something that's fulfilling, go do it. And if enough of you do, perhaps the actual culture will change. So I just dropped...
All right, so let's get into, I think you guys got enough of that. But you guys are going to see. It's like everybody's saying the same thing, man.
How come nobody talks about how dangerous it is to be single as an adult? Hear me out. I'm going to tell you why. So when you're young, always...
Let me tell y'all about my date from hell last night.
It's like everybody's saying the same
on the worst date ever. I deleted my Hinge account.
Everybody's saying the same thing. So let's get into the video, guys, with Anton real quick. Let's get into that video. I'm going to pull that video out. And then I'm going to replay how we got here. Shout out to Anton Daniels. You know, and this is what he says about fake femininity. Let's get into it.
Through all of what she's been through, this got another husband. Half of y'all can't even find a husband, and she got a husband that's willing to sit up there on trial and listen about how she got ran through and how she got her mouth pissed in. You know what women are saying online?
But let's,
can
I ask you guys a
good man, Savannah. I'm gonna speak to the guys, and I'm gonna speak to all of the men that's watching this that got wives, that got girlfriends. That
you're being ridiculous.
I think that they're innocent. Let me tell you, big dog. She'll go.
I bet she won't.
I bet you she will. She's a femininity coach, and she say that she hold women accountable. He started to get uncomfortable because she started exposing herself as a chameleon. Now the simp is gonna start to come. I bet you she won't. Nigga, if she wouldn't, then she wouldn't be here in the first place. Nigga, send her over here for 48 hours. She gonna come back a different person.
All right, how did we get here, guys? And these fake femininity coaches. As I said before in the past, guys, a lot of women, not all, but a large portion of women that come into men's spaces, they come in to change the conversation. They don't want you to know their dirtiest secrets. They want taxation without representation. And they don't understand that if you want a quality man, you're going to meet his expectations and vice versa. So how did we get here? Well, listen to what Anton is saying. We're going to break this thing down. Hold tight.
But what about her, like, having to relive all those moments, like, in front of her husband?
So guys, this is the pink pill, the woman to the top. This is the woman that David Carroll used to talk about all the time, and other male content creators. This so-called woman called pink pill. She came on Anton's channel about a month ago, I believe. And the woman down to the bottom, Ty something Carson, she showed her true colors when Anton was calling out Cassie and so-called femininity to women. You know, you got a woman that allow a man to put urine in her mouth and got ran through by a bunch of men, not understanding that your grandfather didn't have to deal with that nonsense. Neither did your great grandfather, or maybe even your father. Women back in the day were different. They were better women. I'm not saying they were perfect. I'm not saying they didn't do sneaky stuff, because they did. But they were a lot better than women now, in my opinion.
As well, it's not something that's going to be like she's happy with. I don't think that she's like, yeah, I want to do this while I'm pregnant with my husband sitting in here. I think that, I mean, as much as I like I said, I do hold her accountable for some of the things, but I still kind of feel like she's still having to go through or relieve traumatic experiences that she had with him, especially. I mean, and I also do know that when you've been like abused for a certain period of time, you do get hypersexual. So you know,
So they're making her the victim. So if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, right? The lady beside Anton, that's the pink pill, Christian Kerosene. The woman beneath Anton is a femininity coach. And you know, I watched this woman. You know, I thought she was a decent woman, but she showed her true colors on Anton's channel. She showed her true colors, and he's had her back on several times after that, but she definitely showed her true colors.
I can do agree that, yeah, she did some she has some whorish behavior.
Why?
But like,
why would
the
she keep all of those videos?
Huh?
Why would she keep why would she keep all of those videos?
Yeah, that's
unless
where
she knew deep down.
That's
you know,
where the
like,
hypersexuality I'm talking about comes from, because most
hypersexuality, man, got nothing to do with keeping videos. This woman was in a full-blown relationship. They try to make this woman the victim. They made P. Diddy the bad guy, and they made her the victim. Only to find out while she was married to her husband, she still was texting him. You got a lot of women that go back and want to reach back and text their husband, text other men. A lot of them do it.
Abused women, they do get very, very hypersexual, and it's something that we can never understand. I mean, even the fact that she got
the craziest thing about all of this is that Cassie's morality is now being plastered, and we understand and we can label her, right? We understand
and this is the so-called femininity coach that they're talking about. The pink pill is right beside Anton to the right. But see, God, this is what happens when people have thinking errors in the form of intellectualization and rationalization, where they try to rationalize bad behavior. This is nothing but an ego defense mechanism in the form of intellectualization. And a lot of it is arrested development. Most modern women will never come into a full loving relationship because they don't understand or see their thinking errors that they have. It's no right man in his right mind could ever accept a woman that allowed a man to put his excrements into his mouth, whether it be urine or whether it be his DNA. And this is what you're getting there, filth. You're getting filth for a wife. This woman was ran through by P. Diddy and a bunch of other men too. I understand she was played into the relationship as well. But these women are not necessarily innocent either.
we can label her as something, right? But she didn't do any of these things alone. So therefore, his character is just as bad as hers.
Yeah, he's a disgusting pig.
So that's
why
the point of her being there.
That's why he's on trial.
Can I ask you guys a
if this
question?
stuff that she's saying is true or not?
Can I ask
He's
you
on
like,
trial,
can I ask
and
the
she's
ladies
the
a
character
question?
key witness. Her
Can I ask
testimony.
all of you guys a question? Do you
What's up,
guys
girl?
think that all of this is unfair?
And I'm glad Anton did this because it just shows the hypocrisy of the so-called women that hold other women accountable. I'm so glad it happened because it just shows the so-called hypocrisy. It just shows the so-called hypocrisy.
Hurling about Cassie, and I'm finding out some stuff I didn't even know right now. But do you think that when she entered her relationship with Sean Combs at 2021, that she was always this way?
No.
What I'm saying is, and I'm getting to something here. So do you guys believe that maybe she was a little bit naive?
Green?
Yes.
So you think so? I mean, so do you guys really think that at 21, 22, even probably have never experienced these things? I mean, like you guys must really think she must have been whoring since she was like 15. I mean,
No,
like,
I wouldn't say it's not that.
Like she's just barely of age. I'm
No.
do you think she came in? And Anton, I would love to hear you. Do you think she came into the relationship wanting to do those things and like volunteering herself and saying, yeah. Do you think at like her young age, that's what she wanted?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like if you
being,
watch the video of Me and You, if you watch the video of Me and You, she was already kind of sexual, I think. I don't know what went on in her life before that, but she was the video, the lyrics, and this was way before.
I just don't think that you live enough years to have that kind of experience to even know these things. Like,
no, that's a part
life long enough.
That's a part of being naive. You wanting.
And look at them trying to justify her bad behavior. Listen, let me tell you something. One of the biggest fallacies is that the brain is not fully developed. Therefore, a person can't make cogent decisions, and that's a fallacy. Brain development in the prefrontal lobe, the prefrontal cortex, all that does play a role, is fully developed at the age of 25. But how is it that women of old, your grandmother that got married at 18, and when the women of old had basic common sense, but this generation used the fallacy of the prefrontal cortex and the frontal lobe. Piaget talked about something called abstract reasoning and concrete reasoning. Abstract reasons are when you can see things outside of like squares and boxes and shapes. Most babies look at things from a concrete perspective. Jean Piaget. Piaget talked about abstract and concrete reasoning. And while the prefrontal lobe might not be fully developed, human beings know basic right from wrong. They know basic right from wrong. All human beings know basic right from wrong. They might not understand it comprehensively, but they do understand basic right from wrong. 18 to 23-year-olds know basic right from wrong. They might not understand comprehensively about right and wrong and how things could end out because they're young and goofy. They still have a basic knowledge of right and wrong. And that's why so many now never grow. They're going to what's called a state of arrested development because they don't grow. They don't grow. And instead of internalizing and looking within themselves, they continue to project what they continue to project or more or less rebel against the thing that the man is trying to say.
To experience things.
I gotta do one mic.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I knew women that was getting trains ran on them in high school. I don't know where y'all been at. I don't know where y'all what's going on.
Trains are different than
the April Masons of the world came out as a conservative femininity coach. Then she started dressing seductive. Her and I got into it. The Nicole Michelles of the world. Her and I got into a little small bar back in the past. Because she was trying to shame men and saying, if you're a duster, you can't date. I said, if you're ran through, you can't date, man. You want men to pay bills, but you ran through. And you got kids by multiple men. Or had kids by men. You want men to give their hard-earned money to women that have been ran through. Make it make sense. Not understanding that what made you special was your ability to discipline yourself and to present yourself worthy to that man. And men of that generation didn't mind going hard in the paint. That's what my daddy got. My mom was a virgin when she got with my dad. But then you got a bunch of castaways that want to be treated like traditional women.
Drugs and prostitutes.
Let me tell you something.
It's
not that
crazy out there.
I knew chicks that was getting trains ran on them in high school. I don't know what y'all talking about.
And what were those girls' backgrounds like? If you were to peek into their whole lives, were they like loved and everything was great, and they just are like.
I never listen. Let me tell you something. My homeboys never told me about whether or not they met their parents or not.
To Cassie came from two-parent household.
Yeah,
and they were raised in Connecticut. I think she was very, very green. She said that Diddy taught her to suck dick. So I think she was very, very green.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, no, but that doesn't excuse her choices for 11 years.
I'm not.
And it doesn't mean that she.
So what I'm saying is that there seems to be a progression of depravity, right?
Everybody is green until they not, Pink.
Yes, but what I'm saying.
So this is Kristen Peterson, aka the divester, aka the swirler. This is her. This is her. And listen, I'm not saying that there are not some femininity coaches. Like I know Bella Ringstein, she's a good young lady. I know Megan is substitute. Well, I don't know Megan, but she seems like she's a good woman. And Luke Hayes, I'm not talking about them. I don't know them like that per se. I know of them. They appear to be good women. But their message resonates with what men are trying to talk about. I'm talking about the ones that are adversarial or that get into the fray only to change things up. So I want to be clear about that. But I do believe that a lot of times, sometimes, you can tell the women that are femininity coaches and they have a traditional conservative worldview. I know Bella. I've heard Bella. I've looked at her content. Bella seems like she's a genuine woman. She says she's a good sister. And also Lou and also Maggie. But there are some women that had toilet past or sordid past, and then they come into the fray and they try to repackage themselves as being virtuous after they've been with 20 or 30 men. And then they say, well, you know, I deserve, not that I want to earn my way into a man's life, but I deserve. And, you know, masculine men ain't gonna accept that. A masculine man just ain't gonna accept that. Unless you got a compelling reason. Most men are not gonna accept that. Unless you got a justifiable reason.
Is that, like, yeah, so what I'm saying
everybody
is
is green until they not.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just don't think that you live enough years to have experience with, you know, having sex with prostitutes, having tons of parties, all kinds of drugs. Like when I was 20, 21, like I stopped playing with Barbies when I was 13. So you do the math there. It's like, I'm just having a hard time believing that somebody that young could be that sophisticated, and that Diddy was not somehow, as being almost old enough to be her father, have some involvement in the influence of her. That's it.
Look, let me say this.
Hold on. How many times have you want to be in the music industry? You wasn't trying to be in the music industry either. How many times have we heard of these chicks?
And Gail, you're 100% correct. Gail is right. There are a lot of chameleons on this app, and they've been exposed slowly but surely. I agree with her 100%. The one to the bottom, I thought she was okay, but she exposed herself. When she started using words like misogynistic, I knew right there she was a fake. Many of them, like some of the brothers said, they come back after they've been ran through. They come back after their options are gone. They come back after they realize ain't no man checking for them, only to want a good man to, you know, make her an honest and a wholesome woman. But by then, most men ain't taking you serious, sweetie. Your best years are gone. You know, that's what a lot of them do. They play the like I told somebody one time, your soul might be saved, but your nether regions needs deliverance. And so you're correct. I've seen it happen many times. They come into men's faces to change the conversation because they know they have had sordid pasts.
Come on, Pink. You can't be this naive.
No, I do, but I also have 4 children. So I'm coming at it from like maybe just a mom. Like I'm not just being so quick to be like that, because I also remember when I was 19 and how truly naive.
Yeah. If you tell the truth on YouTube, your views gonna be low. You know, that's why content creators get frustrated, like myself, because we put a lot of work into doing these shows, man. It's a lot of work putting these shows together. I don't think y'all understand the amount of time it takes to put these shows together, the amount of the man hours, the clips, the editing. I do it all by myself. And so that's why I tell you guys, if you like what good content creators are doing, always show your support. it makes it worth our time because, you know, we got families too. And of course, somebody can argue, nobody make you do it. That's true. Nobody make us become content creators. I totally agree. But if you like what we're doing, you like what content creators are doing, show love, show support. And for the most part, the guys on this channel, they do show me support for a small channel that I have. But I want my channel to grow. I want it to grow. And so I'm going to still do manhood content, but I got to get creative. But you're right about that. Some of the Highway 20 skinny, 100% correct.
I was like the things that, you know, people could tell me that I would believe. I had both my parents.
So Anton, if somebody is a bad person,
so it was like,
I have a question. If somebody is a bad person, do they deserve a crime to happen to them?
No.
We're talking about Cassie's morals here. So if Cassie,
no,
you're
we're talking
deeming her
about the fact that she was busting it down for a real one. What you talking about?
that's you thinking she's a bad person. That's you thinking she's a whore. Does that
that means that
bad to happen?
Bad things happen to bad people.
No,
no.
Bad things happen to bad people.
That means
all y'all telling me is all y'all telling
that means
me
we all deserve to go to jail.
At the end of the day, all y'all telling me is that y'all are part of the sisterhood. That's what it really comes down to.
And Anton exposed him. He's correct. You don't get a pass or you don't get respect based on a conscious choice. Imagine somebody stood before God and they asked God to give them a pass because a ticket into heaven because you know, they grew up because they had some kind of issue that happened. God gonna judge every man based on his ability to know basic right from wrong. God looks at the intentions of the heart. And he's right, a lot of them are part of the sisterhood because most women don't want accountability. They have a hard time looking at themselves. And a lot of times the lack of accountability is due to shame. They don't like the shame associated with the accountability. That's why they don't take accountability because they don't like how it makes them feel. And I thought this woman to the bottom, whatever her name is, right under Anton, well, actually, I didn't think she was any woman that says she's a femininity coach, I look at them sideways. I always look at them sideways. I've had many women that come on my channel in the past that used to show me love. They disappeared when I start talking about things. Then, like, I'm gonna call them out. I mean, if I'm talking about women that been ran through, then why you take it personal? If I talk about men that are bums, you know, I don't take it personal when women talk about men being bums because I know I'm not a bum. But they get mad because they've been ran through. That's why they get mad and leave and don't support it. And they don't like the fact that men are saying you just don't qualify. Because women back then, they weren't qualified in the past. You can't come to a man with a bunch of bodies and then you want a man to see you as special. It just don't work that way. I'm not going to take you serious with my wife. And we know they're going to lie. So we already looking at you sideways, so we know you're going to lie about it. And this is what you got there, a train. You got a train of destruction. You got a train of destruction. A train destruction. I appreciate that, Highway 20 skid. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Women like Brittany Renner trying to rebrand themselves. And you're right, Cortez. That box needs to be delivered with a T on the end. Yeah, that box needs to be delivered with a T on the end. Because I've always said your soul might be saved, but your box is a sinner. You can't go back and undo what you've done in your past. You can't undo it. You can't go back and think you can sell a man your virtue when you've given it away for free because you were rebellious and you listened to this liberalism. We understand there are some women that have been violated. They were looking for love and they gave a man their body and the man lied to them. I'm not necessarily talking about them. I'm talking about most of the women that just want to go out here and have fun. They gave their virtue away to multiple men only to try to sell it, resell, and rebrand themselves, repackage themselves. And they wanted the man to take full responsibility for it. So you're right. That box needs to be delivered.
Not gay no more. I am delivered.
I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women.
Yeah. Yeah, they get triggered when we say we don't want women that got multiple kids by multiple men or women that's been raped. They get triggered because they know it's them. And this is how wicked the world is now. This is how wicked the world has become. I envy my mama because I know my mama's in heaven. I envy my mama because I know mama's in heaven. And she ain't got to deal with this sick world that we live in now.
Let me address what.
This is an adult accountability thing.
At the end of the day, what you're telling me is that when it comes to the like actually really holding people accountable, we only hold women accountable based off of words. Bad girl, you're bad. Don't do that again. Don't have children out of wedlock. Don't do this. Don't do that. That's how we hold women accountable. When it actually comes to, because see, equal means equal across the board.
Right.
That's what feminism has given us.
Right.
Feminism said
Right.
that y'all wanted equal. You know what y'all advocate against though? Equal when it comes to consequences. Then
When
this
she
is
has
why
her day in court-
this is why you see women advocate for equal pay, equal rights, but at the same time they'll advocate against updating family court laws. This is why you'll see women commit crimes, but on a regular basis, they'll never be charged in the same way that a man is. They'll never serve the same sentences. They'll never be prosecuted. They'll never ever let their feet touch the ground. We're always going to treat women with kid gloves, especially
He's telling the
if they're
truth.
pretty.
He's telling the truth. They want equality. They want equality of outcome, but they don't want equality of a responsibility. They want all the outcomes they think men get by being men, but they don't want to deal with equality of accountability. And he's right. They do treat women with kid gloves because this woman should have been eviscerated. There should have. Can you imagine a woman wanting a man to say, you're a good man because you want to deal with a random woman that allow a man to put urine in her mouth and put DNA in her mouth. And then imagine all the men that ran through her. What man in his right mind, if he's a masculine man, want that for his wife? How can you value her and see her as special? It ain't nothing special about her. Nothing is special about her. And you're right, they are getting triggered. They get triggered. The one to the bottom is getting triggered. That's why I laugh at her. The one to the bottom used the word misogynistic. Don't offer a man nothing but a headache and and refurbished cat.
Anton, are you saying that
especially if they're pretty, especially if they're pregnant, the sister code is going to save them. Well, you know what? But why? Well, wait, did she have a father in her life? Anybody asked Diddy if he had a father in his life?
Right.
Period.
Anton, respectfully, I'm not sure what. Okay, can I just ask Anton, like, what do you expect?
Nobody cares about Diddy, his upbringing. Nobody gives a fuck. Don't nobody care. If he had been touched when he was younger, that's cool. But nigga, you an adult now. Fix your motherfucking life. That's no excuse. But when it's
and the crazy thing about being abused is Diddy, I heard, was abused. R. Kelly was abused. Many men are abused, but we don't care about men that have been traumatized at the hands of men or women. We don't care about that. But all of a sudden, because she's been traumatized or touched or whatever, then we're supposed to give her a pass and make up all kinds of excuses. But if she stood before God, God will say, depart from me, I never knew you. Do you think God will let cast into heaven based on her excuse? Or do you think God will judge her based on her conscience, like he's going to judge us all? God judged all human beings based on their conscience. Women say they want to be equal to men, but still want to be treated as children.
They don't want the accountability or the consequences of their bad behavior. But they want all the power they think men have.
That's not on trial.
I know. I'm just wondering, when you
What's
say
happening?
accountability, what do you want? What do you want?
What
What do you
her
want
to
to
do?
happen? Like, what?
Let me can I just address what Pink Pill was saying earlier, because I love the fact how she, she was saying when she was 19 and when she was 20. You got to understand, you came up in a completely different generation. You said you're Generation X, right?
Yeah.
She's Generation Z, right? Millennial, right? I'm a millennial. And I'm pretty sure there's a few other millennials. There may be a few other millennials on here. But the way we were coming out and the way we were brought up is completely different than the way you saw things. So trust me, it is not far-fetched for Cassie to be busting it down for a real one and a not so real one.
You know what I learned? You know what I learned tonight? You know what I learned tonight? All women, all of them are on the table. There is no woman that you cannot get. There is no morality code that she will not abide by, that she will abide by. Every woman has a price. That's what I learned tonight. Because they don't believe it. They don't believe it. I don't give a fuck about what y'all saying. I don't care about y'all protesting. I don't care about y'all fake getting upset. I know that every last.
And look what she called him. Call him misogynist. That's what they always say. If you got standards in America, you're a misogynist. If you say you don't want a woman that's been ran through, you're a misogynist. Anytime men say they have standards, they're misogynists. And this is what the Bible said what happened in the last days. P. Diddy, mom, made P. Diddy. She played a role in his pathological behavior. R. Kelly's sister and also a man played a role in his pathological behavior. They created the monsters of P. Diddy and R. Kelly. They played a role in it. But nobody held the mothers accountable or the sisters accountable that violated these men. Yet they say they want equality. Boys get violated at the same rate the girls get violated. Look at all the teachers that have touched boys and nothing happened to them. But somehow they want to give this woman a pass. We're not saying that being abused or being groomed don't make a difference. But Sean Puffy Combs was a victim too. And so was R. Kelly. R. Kelly actually is in North Carolina, man. R. Kelly is in North Carolina right now. He's in FCI Butler. R. Kelly is in the area where I used to work at, guys. I did my internship where R. Kelly is at now. That's where I did my internship. At the federal prison in Butler. That's where I did my internship. Bernie Madoff was in Butler. That's where I did my internship after I went to UNC. But somehow they want to give give her a break.
Every last woman on the face of this fucking earth has a price.
I think
and
every
one
man
of the
has
reasons
wealth.
why they have a price is because they want the lifestyle, and it's always going to be a price that's attached to it. They willing to pay it, and they don't believe that they'll ever have to be held accountable.
And he is 100% correct. And look at the one to the bottom of Anton shaking her head. They all got a price. She played the victim. Just like some of these women that were dealing with R. Kelly played the victim. I'm not saying that R. Kelly was not a vile man. He was vile. But he was born Robert Kelly. He became R. Kelly. Because he was abused too. And hurt other people. But when it comes down to male abusers, men are just bad by default. They don't give men no grace. They don't give men no grace.
For it. One of the reasons why you see some guys,
the deal of right and wrong.
One of the reasons why you see men and they're willing to hold what, some men are willing to cross it and just take a chance. Other men is like, you know what, that's just too big of a price to pay. Because we know for a fact that if we get caught, it's over. It's over. There is no coming back. Ain't no plan B. You going to jail, or you going to die, or you going to get whatever. You're going to be held accountable. You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your money. You're going to lose your income. You're going to lose everything. Women inherently in the back of their mind, they know that they can recover from it. And so the price is always easier to justify. And you know you can get away with it. It's almost like, look, I'll give you an example. Through all of what she's been through, this bitch got another husband. Half of y'all can't even fucking find a husband. And she got a husband that's willing to sit up there on trial and listen about how she got ran through and how she got her mouth pissed in.
But that's not, I mean,
you know what
and they're getting triggered. Shout out to, I got somebody to show coaches some love today. I got my brother in the house, always showing love. The big homie Ray Johnson in the house, always showing love, man. Ray Johnson, man, I appreciate the brother Ray. One for Ray Johnson, some of these other brothers, man. I probably quit YouTube altogether. Hold on, let me try this cash out. Brother Ray Johnson, always showing love. I really appreciate it. Let me show Brother Ray some love. Hold on. Here we go. Shout out to Brother Ray Johnson with that $10 cash out. Thank you, Brother Ray Johnson. As Brother Ray Johnson is the #1 sponsor of the stream. Guys, don't let Ray be the only one to show some love, man. If y'all like what I'm doing, show the Kosher Man some support. And shout out to Brother Ray Johnson with the cash app, as he's the #1 sponsor of the stream. Thank you, Brother Ray Johnson. Thank you, sir.
It's the money.
Man, like,
you know what women are saying online? You know what women are saying online? In mass. That's a good man, Savannah.
That's a good man.
Lord, bless that type of love to attack me. Instead of saying, what the fuck is this bitch doing? Getting her mouth pissed in. At some point she had to say, you know what? I don't like the taste of pee. But instead of us having
that's not a criminal offense. You're conflating a lot of different things. You're conflating a lot of different things.
You want women to be held to the same standard as men.
Of why she like pee.
The fake femininity coach said women want to be held to the same standard as men, not understand that fundamentally men and women are not the same. And women are not held to the same standard as men, because the average man cannot be with another man. A lot of millennial women have been with men and women. A lot of millennial women are bi-curious or have been with other women. But let a millennial man say that he's been with other men. They're hypocrisy. They want the illusion of power associated with men, but they don't want none of the responsibility. None of the responsibility. Because they think that their superpower is competing with men, not understanding their superpower is their ability to be feminine and to be silent and to respect their men. Because they have a rebellious heart, and they're more prone to the Jezebel spirit. Many of them are prone to the spirit of Jezebel. And many of them have drunk the Kool-Aid of being a Jezebel. Follow me, baby. The elders are old and out of touch. I have the power to help you become the better version of yourself. Listen to me. I know what's best for you. I am the Snake Whisperer. He's not conflating anything. He's just more or less giving a point of perspective. Anton is not conflating criminality. Anton is talking about morality. She's the one that's conflating the two. She's the one that's conflating it. He's talking about morality.
We're having a conversation about the character witnesses that is coming up to establish whether or not Diddy is the culprit. No accountability whatsoever. I don't believe it. I believe that any woman that I want, I can get her now.
But being kinky is not a crime.
You've given us the understanding to be careful of the type of women that we go after, but at the same time, understand that they all got a price.
Anton, you serve such contradictions, and it's so funny to me. Do you want women to be held to the same standard as men for the sake of equality? Would you like that?
I don't give a fuck.
That's what it should be.
But this is your perspective. This is what you're saying.
You
because a whole stance about it.
You can't hold a
question. You can't answer the question.
Listen. If God couldn't hold Eve accountable, what makes you think that y'all gonna listen to me?
This was about desire. Would you desire women
God
to
couldn't
be held to
convince
the
Eve
same?
to
You're
not
avoiding my
eat from the
question. You're
not
avoiding
I
eat
my
from
know you
question.
didn't say that.
the
God
middle of
Because
absolutely
no,
did hold
God
Eve
told
accountable.
Adam
Can we not
God,
play
God,
into what
Adam,
don't
dog.
play
So
Eve.
into the
that's what on Eve.
semantics,
God
guys?
couldn't
The
convince
question is,
Eve
do
to
you
shut
want
the
women
fuck
to be
up
held to the
for
same
5
standard as
seconds. You know what
men?
Eve did?
No, you don't. You
All it
always say
cost
you
it,
don't.
all it
But
cost,
now you're advocating for it.
all it cost
Now
was a
you
little
want it.
serpent,
But when
a
it's
little
about
serpent and
submission
a little
and when it's
fruit,
about
a little
relationship, you
serpent
don't
and a
want
little
to share.
fruit. And she blessed.
Look at her talking over him. That's not a feminine woman, but she a femininity coach, but she constantly over talking the man. She a femininity coach, but she over talking the man. Don't have no proportion of being a true feminine woman.
But that's the
real one.
this is the thing.
If you believe,
Anton, you got to stop contradicting yourself.
if
You have to
you
stop doing
believe,
that.
no. This has nothing to
You
do with
always do
contradiction.
that.
This don't have nothing to do with contradiction. Listen,
Okay.
for all of the men that's with y'all, please tell them not to listen to this show no more.
Anton, you don't have to
Because
advise our men. It
tell them,
doesn't
tell
really
them
matter.
don't listen to this
That
show no more.
doesn't matter.
Because
That
I'm
doesn't
gonna
matter.
speak to the guys and I'm gonna speak to all of the men that's watching this that got wives, that got girlfriends, that
You're
think
being
that
ridiculous.
think that they're innocent. Let me tell you, big dog, she'll go.
I bet you won't.
I bet you she will.
I bet you she won't.
And a lot of them will go. He's right. A lot of them will go. She got offline when he said that. A lot of them will go. They're sneaky. You think you got something special and wholesome, and you don't. You don't have nothing special, and you definitely don't have nothing wholesome. If some of you men really knew, if some of you really knew what your girlfriend and wives did, they're not going to tell you the truth. But yet at the same time, they want you to treat them as special. Now understanding that the women of the past got treated special because they were good women.
That's your problem. You sitting there in the background trying to
I bet you
sub
won't.
Y'all have a
trying to
good
be a
night.
cheerleader. You sitting there in the background trying to be a cheerleader instead of get her off the fucking screen. Because let me tell you what's really happening. Get her off the fucking
It was
screen.
an accident. She gonna come right back.
No, there wasn't no accident. That
No,
nigga
she
hit the
said
button.
bye. She said bye.
Let me tell you what really happened. He started to get uncomfortable because she started exposing herself as a chameleon.
Yep.
That's
She
the
did
truth.
not.
No.
Yes, she
That
did.
is a man's wife.
See, he was watching the chat. He was watching the chat, and he realized that the chameleon was starting to come out. I'm fucking up the money because she's a femininity coach, and she say that she hold women accountable. No. See, I'm gonna say the real. She's a femininity coach. She said that she hold women accountable. But all of that shit started to come apart because when you let a woman talk for long enough and you let her actually tell what she really believes, when you let her tell what she really believes, that shit started.
He's 100% correct. They reveal themselves every time. She can't be fake for so long. she can't be the model. Some of these femininity coaches are like Gus. That was on Fred Sanford. Gus. Let me show y'all something. They like Gus. There was on Fred Sanford, and Gus was faking that he had an injury. Let me show y'all something. Hold on. Hold tight. Hold on. Let me show y'all. Hold on, guys. These modern women are like Gus. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. These modern women are like Gus on Fred Sanford. Hold on. Yeah, Pink Pill turned the camera off. Yeah, she turned the camera off because she knows she's fake. Hold on a minute. Let me show y'all something. These femininity women are like Gus on Fred Sanford. Fake. Hold on a minute. This what I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this and clip it. Fake femininity coaches be like Gus on Fred Sanford. I'm going to take it and clip it, guys. But hold tight. Hold on.
I'm trying to find that clip, guys, about Gus. Hold on a minute. What's his name doing? About Gus being fake. Hold on. But a lot of these femininity coaches are like Gus. Oh, here we go. Here we go, guys. I'm gonna show y'all this real quick. These fake femininity coaches, just like Gus on Fred Sanford, guys. Oh, hold on, hold on. Hold on. Watch Gus, Chris and Carol. A lot of these fake femininity coaches like Gus. Fake, just like Gus fake being injured. That's what these femininity coaches do. They fake like they want to be. They fake like they want good men. They fake that they want that they're host. And just like Gus on Fred Sanford, that's how I'm yeah, kidding people. My mom was a believer, man. My mom wasn't a believer. I'm probably depressed, but I know she don't want me depressed and crying, man. And I appreciate that. Let's get back to this. But thank you, brother Kenny. Yeah, I appreciate that, brother.
Now the simp is gonna start to come. I bet you she won't, nigga. If she wouldn't, then she wouldn't be here in the first place. All of that shit that you talking, I don't believe it, dog. You gonna have to show me. You gonna have to show me, nigga. Send her over here for 48 hours. She gonna come back a different person. I promise you, nigga. I promise you on God, everything is gonna be different. Everything, because she gonna see some shit that she ain't never seen before. Everything is gonna be different. Get her off the stream. You did the right thing, nigga. Get her off the stream. Get her off the fucking stream, because all of that square shit you talking, that shit going out the window.
Okay.
I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Does Daylin or AC want to say anything before we go to the super chat? No.
All of that fake femininity shit. Nigga,
No,
miss
right.
me with that shit, bro.
No. Okay, we're gonna Lord of mercy. I like Ty. Okay. Let's start the super chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We do appreciate you guys. It is a Monday night. Woo! Wait. Before we move on.
That was unexpected.
Yeah, it was unexpected.
Yeah, right.
Before we move on, who thinks
Nigga said, I bet she won't.
a quick yes or no?
Of course they
I bet you she won't.
Anton.
I bet you she won't.
Who do we think, raise a hand, that Diddy should be arrested for what he's being tried for now? Who thinks he should be arrested for what he's being for sex trafficking and racketeering?
And I guarantee you that nigga's still watching.
Stop. Okay, so Izzy,
I guarantee you still watching.
Izzy,
I don't like that motherfucker.
They are cool. They both been on the panel before. They cool. So Izzy.
All right, let me show you guys this, and then we're gonna end it, man. I got to cut grass, man. But somebody made a good point, and I'm still grieving, man. I think about my mom every day, man. But God is good. But I know my mom wouldn't want me sitting around crying and moping. It hits me in waves and spells, man. Yeah, maybe I should be doing no content at all. I don't know. But look at this, and tell me if P. Diddy mom didn't play a role in his pathology. Watch this.
Everything's good, baby. I'm here with you. Yeah. I love you. I love you too.
Mom, freshly dipped though. Mom, do know how to have a good time. He ain't sitting in the house playing.
That's a son husband. That's a son husband that was married to a drug dealer. His mom was married to a drug dealer in Harlem. She helped create P. Diddy.
Outside moving and shaking, baby. She come with me to strip club. I don't care. Real. It's my dog. You know, I want to live life. We out here moving and grooving. My mom told me, she just said, keep moving, baby.
That's right.
Keep moving.
Don't stop.
She could touch the floor with her palms. You know? Flat. Oh! Take pew, pew, pew.
Now, the kiss and the strip club talk are weird enough, but fans also noticed that Janice had white nails in the video. And if you remember, Cassie revealed in her lawsuit that Diddy made her wear white nail polish during FO sessions. And then if you notice, there's a vitamin drip behind Diddy and Janice. Another thing that Cassie mentioned, Diddy made her do the day after the FOs. Of course, this doesn't prove that Janice was involved.
What's up, Mom?
If you look at the movie, The Penguin had what was called the Oedipus complex with his mother. A lot of these boys have what's called enmeshment, or they are son husbands, and they are son husbands many times because of their mothers. Watch this.
Wait.
Look at this
What did
crap.
Diddy's mom do? What did she do? First, like, share, and follow, but here's this clip. If this is true, this is wild. With all this crazy stuff, I believe it. Here's the clip.
Diddy's mother saved his cum in her refrigerator.
Y'all excuse the language, man. This is gross, man. Excuse the language. I don't really want to play this, but let me move it up.
I need to get off this planet.
But somebody says she saved
So
his
what do you
DNA.
guys think? In normal circumstances, I would say this is crazy accusation. But this is Diddy. This is freak off Diddy that I've been hearing lots of crazy stories coming out about him, so anything's possible. Love to hear your comments. Let me know. This is all alleged. A lot of the information doesn't come out right away because it's a federal case. So sometimes it's hard to tell you what is real and what is fake. So that's why I ask you viewers what you think. My opinion, anybody else, maybe not. But this man right here, yes. I got a feeling a lot more crazy stuff's gonna come out, and it's only the tip of the iceberg. Don't forget to like, share, and follow, and thank you for watching.
So P. Diddy, mama, then put the white stuff in her mac and cheese, his white stuff, and served it to people. Now imagine.
Look at how sick that is. How disturbing and sick that is from his weak man, his sick man. But you wonder why P. Diddy is the way that he is. Where's the mother being held accountable for helping to create the monster in P. Diddy?
Imagine, you go over there and eat for Thanksgiving, and you ask her and say, "Ooh, don't forget to put the mac and cheese on my plate. Yeah, I love the way you make them." Think about the people that know they didn't ate the mac and cheese. Oh my God, that's why it's not good to eat from everybody. She keeping a little container, they say, in her refrigerator. Something about this lady.
Disgusting. That's disgusting.
She got like this cold spirit, a dark spirit to her. She quiet. And I'm not saying all quiet people got something to hide, but this lady got a lot of skeletons in her closet. Now, I might be wrong, but I could be right. This lady may have, years ago, jumped in the bed with her son.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes, I believe it happened. And sometimes when boys are abused like that, they could see the woman as a way of him getting his power back by enacting his pain out on the victim. I mean, disgusting. But who held his nasty mammy accountable?
something more to this story, and she plays a big part. She plays a big part. P. Diddy didn't get like this overnight.
He didn't.
It's some
I
things
said the same thing. I said the same
It's
thing.
some things he done been introduced to when he was
Signs of
younger
abuse.
to make
Right.
him become this type of person.
Totally
Now I
agree.
understand our children pick up things that don't have nothing to do with the parents. Sometimes they go out there and get introduced to things or go follow up behind the wrong people. But this is something that I feel that came right from her. And she know more than what she's saying. Matter of fact, this lady don't say nothing at all. They say she used to be the one giving parties. So he get that party shit from her. Hugs and love. Y'all be blessed. Y'all better stop eating from everybody. Start cooking your own food at home. J-Lo. Mwah.
Lock that freaky old bitch up too. Excuse me.
Cassie reportedly claims that Diddy's mother had uniquely disturbing recipes. She says, Janice had this jar of Diddy's nut in the fridge and would take it out and drizzle it over macaroni, as if it was cheese, then baked it and made us eat it with tap water. Cassie reportedly claims that Diddy's mother had unique.
Miss Combs, you so fine, girl. I would drink your bad water. I would drink your bad water, Miss Combs. Now, Miss Combs. Miss Combs, you is so beautiful.
It is said that when there is corruption, you need to follow the money. In the case of P. Diddy, you need to follow the mama. If P. Diddy is debauched, then his mother is debauched. It is hard to believe that P. Diddy was once an innocent baby bouncing on somebody's knee. It wasn't his father, because his father was murdered while he was sitting in his car when P. Diddy was 2.
And yes, it is abuse. And this woman was complicit in his abuse. As I said earlier, they created the monster of P. Diddy and R. Kelly. R. Kelly's sister created R. Kelly. Most people that have been abused, they act out their abuse.
Rumor has it that
we're going to end it after this, guys. I got things to do.
With somebody else, and so his mother sent a heavy to go and teach the father a lesson, and he didn't teach him a lesson, or maybe he taught him a big lesson. He killed him. There's another rumor to say that P. Diddy's mother got together with his father's murderer. Now, in order to make ends meet, she worked 3 jobs. One was a teaching assistant. One, she was a model, although there are no photographs to verify that. And the third, well, let's just say that she would bring her work home with her. And P. Diddy had to watch, forced to watch her and her clients. Now, we don't know whether he was groomed, whether he was radicalized, or whether he was abused. But we do know that...
I promise you that boy was abused. Even if let's give it the benefit of the doubt, him not being touched. He was abused in some way, whether it's psychological, something that he saw, or what somebody actually did to him, or he maybe even saw his mom do something. That's filthy. That is sick. That's disgusting. But yet, you know, even though P. Diddy is sick, you don't want to put none of the blame on the mother or how perhaps her behavior shaped the monster P. Diddy. We want to talk about things from a therapeutic perspective and trauma when it comes down to a woman's trauma, but we don't care about the trauma associated with men. We just assume by default that it's genetic predisposition.
He was sexualized. He was exposed to sexual activities that no young boy should see. And what happens in sexualization is that it impairs your cognitive processes. It impairs your physical
She's right.
and
trauma
mental
blocks
and behavioral
trauma blocks or
development.
impedes your brain development. That's very true. It is child abuse.
We can see the sexualization as it transpires with the relationship with P. Diddy and his mother. One video has surfaced where P. Diddy and his mother are sitting by the pool hydrating, as you do, and he is talking about how amazing his mother is. He's saying his mother is amazing, but he's shaking his head. Oh, my mother is great. She's amazing. And then she puckers up and they have what I can only describe as an incestuous kiss.
Right.
He then goes on to talk about his mother's prowess. You know, she can touch the ground with her palms. What does that mean? Why do we need to know that? He then pans down his mother's body and we see the white nail varnish that Cassie spoke about. Cassie, who was a Diddy victim talked about how Diddy liked to have all his women wear white nail varnish because it looked better on camera. Was it P. Diddy's idea or was it the mother's idea? Is P. Diddy's mother his mother or is she his woman? They say that the apple does not fall far from the tree.
And it's true.
Yeah, that's what they say.
It's very
that
true.
when there is
all right, let me stop. All right, guys, we're gonna end it here. Listen, guys, thank you to the guys, those that tuned in, guys. We're gonna end it here. I really appreciate you guys showing some love, but I got work to do. And guys, I appreciate what you guys are doing. Listen, I did this for a reason, to show the hypocrisy about some of these so-called fake femininity coaches. They don't really care about change. They just want excuses, guys. And if you're a single man looking for a traditional woman, only I can say is God be with you. We're living in some dark times. I'm so grateful that my mama's gone. Meaning she's gone. I can sit up and cry for my mom all day, but I know my mom is in heaven and she's in the presence of God. And that's where I hope to be at some point. So guys, anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for showing love and support to the show. I might be back tomorrow with a special guest, guys. So y'all stay tuned, and I'll see you guys soon. Be well.
Fire. Kosher clinician.
If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues, absent fathers who miss you, mama drama don't kiss you, all a part of the ritual, this is how they get you, separate the men, women, clipping babies pretend to, damn, lovers, haters, acting like vultures, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen.